And yeah, we're back. I know I promised that that was gonna be the last one of the day, but someone else showed up, and I'm like, keynote or enjoying some time with the amiga Jenny Bramble. Welcome, amiga. Welcome back, I should say.
Thank you, thank you. And I got to say, the keynote's going to be amazing, but I'm really happy to spend some more time with you.
No, I really appreciate it, and that you agreed to come and share some experiences, some of the things, because was a year ago last time we saw each other.
Oh my gosh, it must have been, maybe more.
Star East, I believe.
Oh, yeah, wow, that would have been a while ago.
Oh, because if it
Too long,
wasn't
too
for
long.
that one, it would have been disco before the pandemic. Wow,
Wow,
that's
wow.
we gotta see each other more often.
We do. That's a little depressing, a little depressing.
No,
I'm
no,
glad the
no.
conferences are coming back, though, because now we can hang out more.
Some spoilers on that. I want to talk a little bit about that, those type of things. Um, but amiga Jenny, for the few ones I know that you need no introductions as well, but share with the audience that do not know you, what's the deal with you?
I think what's the deal with me? You're probably going to want to pay for therapy. Like that's my deal. So my name's Jenny Bramble. I am the director of quality engineering at a company called Papa. Quality is in quotes because when I first joined the company, I wanted to be director of quality. I wanted to lead our quality organization, create a really great quality organization. And as I've grown in my career and grown in my, I almost said dictatorship, but directorship. Um,
That's close
it's
now that
close,
you
it's close, it's
mention.
close.
I like it.
My grown in my role as a director, I've realized that calling myself director of quality engineering is way too limiting. Because if I'm a director of engineering, I can now really talk about impacting quality at all levels. So, director of engineering at Papa, we are a company that helps keep seniors in their homes longer by providing services. I like to say it's the things that I would do for my parents if I didn't live 4 hours away. So, picking up their medication, mowing their grass, hanging out with them, because a lot of the epidemic we've got right now is loneliness.
Yeah.
And if we can help solve the concerns of loneliness in our seniors, we can actually keep them in their homes longer and out of nursing homes, which is amazing. So that's what I'm doing now. I do some keynote speaking, I do some regular speaking. I have a small homestead farm with, I think, 40 or 50 rabbits and 60 or 70 quail.
That was quail. It's not
Quail.
like
Yeah.
chicken. I
I'm allergic to chicken eggs. I
no.
know, it's the worst. But I can eat quail eggs and I can eat duck eggs. Ducks are disgusting, so I'm not going to keep ducks. And quail are adorable.
For the ones that are not aware, often I see pictures of those. Does that count as chicks? No, right?
They're
That-
kind of
that-
chicks, yeah, I
I
guess.
don't know how to call the babies because often you are like, this one now has feathers, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, I mostly
um,
call them chicks, quail chicks and quail.
quail
Just
chicks. I
yeah.
like that. But it's super fun because, believe it or not, you're not the only one of the QA community that likes to have farming endeavors. The amigo Yoko Antonio, if he's watching, he's also super into it, and it's similar to, just came to my mind. Are you into making music?
I am into consuming music. I love to sing though, but I'm
That
not a
counts.
guitar. I don't play guitar. I don't play piano anymore. But I love to sing.
Wait,
Actually,
piano anymore? So
I
do
used to
you?
play piano. It was my favorite. My family grew up singing. My dad's a singer songwriter. He
Oh,
actually
that explains
is
a lot.
playing music. I think probably right now. What is it? Is it Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday. He plays every Wednesday
Tuesday.
at a particular bar. He's got a little small following. I made him stickers.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That explains a few things. But no, I was asking because I found that many people in the QA community have a capacity for music, like some instrument you sing, some of those things. What type of stuff do you sing?
I will basically just sing in the shower a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
no karaoke stuff
Oh, I
or
would do karaoke all day long, except none of my friends want to do karaoke. So
here,
if you're at
here.
the conference, Leandro and I were going to do karaoke later.
I'm game.
Actually, seriously, like if I'm at a conference and y'all are like, I know the best karaoke spot, hit a girl up. I'm in.
Okay, two of us. Let us know.
I went to Elixir Conf last year, and they had a karaoke machine there
At the
at
conference?
the conference. The
That's
conference was
it.
doing karaoke, and everybody from my company apparently loves karaoke, and we went wild with it. We did more songs than anyone else, and it was the most fun I've had in a long time. Are you curious what my karaoke song is? Because it's Friends in Low Places.
Okay. That's the song. Any third and fourth place, second place, but
Pretty much anything. Yeah, like I just love singing. Yeah.
that's unexpected. And singing, because I've seen mostly instruments, as I said.
Yeah.
I know bass players and drummers and lots of guitar players or even weird instruments. I met a tester accordion player. I'm like, that's an interesting skill set. But I mean, we are already in a tangent. That's the fun of this
It's
type
the
of
fun of this.
having a talk. It's always random with the two of us. You never know.
We're
But
like this even when the camera isn't on, y'all.
she she's usually like if you had a Red Bull or something, turn on the camera, it's 10 Red Bulls. I noticed a little bit that situation. But it's glad. I'm glad to have this experience and these talks. But it sounds like you have been in a lot of conferences and things ever since last I saw you. What other things have you been going to or
Oh, what other
presenting?
conferences have I been to? So I went to Agile Testing Days Germany. That was really wonderful. I don't think I actually been to anything since Agile Testing Days Germany. But last year, one of the things that I'm trying to do is get a little bit more into developer conferences. Um,
Oh,
because I've stepped away from the idea of just being a quality director, it's really broadened my experience and made me think, well, how can I start bringing more quality in for my developers? How can I start talking more about that and kind of get a little bit more street cred with the developer world? So I've started putting in talks for developer conferences, particularly Elixir conferences, because that's the language we're working in right now.
oh,
So I went to Elixir Conf. That was super fun. There's like another couple that I've got my eye on that I'm hoping to get into.
okay. Pay attention. She's trying. Please, if you know or you have any control, awesome presentations. Which, yeah, I remember in Star East, you gave the keynote.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with the spy games and all
It
the.
was so fun.
You and
Adrian,
Adrian.
who's another director of engineering at Papa. He's actually the reason I came to Papa, because we were talking. We worked at a company that wasn't great before,
Mhm.
like just kind of a classic toxic
So
company.
you both moved?
Yeah, he came. He
Cool.
left before I did. He's a smart one apparently. But while we were at the toxic company, one of the things we'd always talk about is, what does a healthy organization look like?
Hmm.
What does it look like when developers and testers are actually working in partnership instead of being pitted against each other by management? So we'd have all of these conversations. And then when he came to Papa, he said, that's the organization I want to build. That is what I'm going to build. Come with me. And I'm like, well, no, it's a startup and I like to eat.
Yeah, but that's a
They're
startup.
actually really stable now. They're great. But at the time, like I was real nervous about it. So I went to another company. And then in 2020, he said, hey, come to Papa. Like, we're ready for
Come
you.
to Papa. That sounds
So
peculiar.
I love the name of our company, but it can be a little awkward.
Yeah. Now my mind is flying how the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, unfortunately they are. So he said, come on over. And I came over and we started really working in concert to describe a healthy organization where test is integrated from the very start. And it's been amazing. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm working in a healthy place that has a good respect for both quality and developer and the UX researchers and design and product.
And the mission of the company and what they are doing as well, I feel it very
Yeah,
good karma. Good,
yeah. And I need some.
good vibes. Why? Is that like from running incidents and styles? Because everyone probably you have seen on socials that Jenny had a kerfuffle yesterday. No,
Monday. I fought the
yesterday.
ground and the ground won.
Uh, is that a common fight?
I mean, I'm very clumsy apparently. The last Agile testing days I was at, Agile testing days Germany, I fell down the stairs.
No.
I did. It was awful. And this one I fell running. So I'm kind of worried about what's going to happen at my next conference.
Stay tuned. There's gonna be something interesting coming from this lady.
If you see me wrapped in bubble wrap, that's what's going on.
At the very least, the knees. I have a feeling that you need some knee protectors or
It's like a
something.
helmet, you know.
You're making me think of that South Park episode with Carmen. You know the one that. Yeah, probably would be fun
It would be
if
fun.
you
It
were
would be
running
fun.
around with a helmet in the conference.
Or like one of those bubble balls, like the hamster balls.
That may be like logistically interesting,
It would be difficult, yeah, yeah.
but
But it'd be funny. It'd be
I'll
real
support that if you decide to try that. No, but as well, I know that the impact on what you have been doing with Papa and like broadening your reach, that catches my attention a lot because um, I feel that I'm Senor Performer, and I put myself in the performance
fun.
box. How has been that experience? Like trying to share the knowledge in some other areas and like pioneering in this, not pioneering, but getting out of what you have been used to.
Do you want the feel good answer or the real answer?
First, feel good, and then let's get real.
It's been wonderful. I haven't had a single problem.
Okay, that was too not.
It's been so hard because I've always defined myself as a tester.
Yeah.
Like that is such a core part of my identity that I don't know who I am if I'm not a tester. It's
Yeah.
like it feels a lot like when I moved from manual testing to automated testing. Like doing the human testing is such a core part of my identity that it was really hard for me to adopt automation. So stepping back and saying, I'm not just going to manage testers, I'm going to manage an engineering team, a holistic team. It's been a real struggle. Like, if I'm managing developers, are they going to respect me? Because I don't have development experience. I haven't written a bunch of features. I haven't solved problems like that. So, are they going to respect me as someone who can lead them? Can I be their manager? Can I help their careers? Can I provide them a place where they can thrive when I've geared my entire career towards helping a very specific subset of engineering thrive?
Mm-hmm.
I have wrestled with this a lot. Like you can see, like I'm like
Live, you can see the
Right, you can see-
process happening.
So I've really been struggling with it and saying, well, am the other piece, like this was the biggest piece for me is, am I doing a disservice to testers and a disservice to women in testing
Mhm.
by stepping away from being a test manager? Because a lot of times what you hear is developers are better. We don't say it like that, but we pay them a little bit more. We pay attention to them a little bit more. There's more of them in the organization.
Mhm.
So my question to myself was, am I doing something that's harmful to my community by saying I'm no longer a quality director?
So
I'm
that's
a
why you
director
were
of engineering.
coding and
Yeah. So like it was really, really difficult for me to actually step back and make that transition. And what I wrestled with this, y'all. Like me and a bottle of whiskey wrestled with this. And what I came to is that I was boxing myself in too much by saying I am just a tester. Like the things that I was afraid of, that people won't think I'm technical enough, that people won't respect me because I'm just a tester. I realized, okay, I'm doing it to myself. I'm defining myself as just this small box. And I'm saying, oh, because this is a comfortable box for me, no one's going to respect me outside this box. But stepping out of it, I'm looking back and saying, oh, that is a small part of my value. The testing activities that I do is a small part of my value as a tester. Managing testers is a small part of my value as a director. The bigger value that I bring is risk assessment.
Mhm.
I bring the ability to step into the mindset of the customer. I bring the ability to see things at a large level. I don't have to have participated in the development side of the software development lifecycle to have opinions on it, to talk about it, to offer suggestions, to really mentor people in that. I can't do everything. Like I
Mhm.
don't know the deep down pieces of Elixir that a lot of my developers do, but I know theory, I know how people move through software, and being able to bring that to the engineering group at large means I can start injecting quality in the coolest places. The design team and I got together and we talked about how can we get quality from the design level. I got together with my head of product. How can we get quality in at the product level? If I was just director of quality,
You will be
I,
limited
I would be
severely.
so limited. But this has let me expand myself, but still be true to myself. Because I am a tester at heart. I am a tester by nature, tester by nurture. Like that's my jam. But my focus now is the entire health of the engineering organization. The entire breadth of the software development lifecycle is now my playground. So it's been hard, but it's worth it.
Sounds and something that I like to kind of identify as a trend in a conference, and with the people that I have talked to and had a chance to interview, I see like the pattern, and this one is like the boundaries
Mm,
that Gina mentioned in the keynote, and breaking them
yeah,
on curious on some situations, respecting them. That Gina said, like, "Hey, whoa," and on the other one, like the ones that we impose on ourselves,
yeah,
because what you were saying, am I doing a disservice? Am I like not being loyal, or should I
yeah,
stay in my corner, my box, or keeping with this? And it reminded me a lot the female role in the only female in the meeting in the Zoom
yeah,
call. Should I stay in this box or should I break through? And it's interesting that you say the hardest part has been yourself, and
yeah,
yeah, it's tough because we all fight with this. We put these labels on ourselves and
yeah,
wonder if I love as well that what you are your troublesome points, like it's not like egotistical,
yeah,
like am I in my career, blah, blah. No, am I doing a disservice to the community that also I admire a lot, because you're thinking first on the community, and if I'm doing something good for the rest of the people other than yourself, which as well it's important to
yeah,
think of um, what can you do. And it's great that you see and recognize, like, I have a better reach and people respect me and identify, and I can help better with this broader um, title, which as well I have a thing with titles, but
I think of it as a context.
yeah,
So if I reduce my context to just quality engineering, it's really limiting. But if I say just engineering, suddenly I've got a broad context and people expect me to operate in different ways.
yeah,
Jenna talked a ton about semantics. It's a lot about that. Like the words we use to describe ourselves and describe our testing and describe our activities are incredibly important, and they form expectations in other people's minds. Heather had a really great talk on data driven testing. And she goes, "What do you think a cow looks like?" And we all like pictured a cow in our minds. And then she showed a picture of a cow that looked kind of like a zebra, like had
nothing
like
at all.
stripes on it.
No, and you just got me, like, yeah, everyone like the milk package cow, Swiss cow, black
Yeah,
and white.
yep,
I know brown cows, like yellow cows, and not even with patterns or
yep.
things that I've never seen the zebra one, but now I'm curious.
They painted the stripes on it so that the flies would not land on the cows as much. Apparently, that's what Heather said. Find her, ask her. It was a fun story.
Okay, if I get a chance, I'm gonna try to come up with a cow thing, because I didn't know that the flies would be confused by the stripes.
I didn't either. It's
I
really cool.
I would have thought it's more for camouflage or something, but I don't know any cows in the jungle having to camouflage from
A stealth cow
lions.
sounds like the most terrifying thing I've heard.
Camo cow. It's a
Surprise, cow!
oh boy, you're getting the stupid hamster running like walking into the jungle, and suddenly from the bushes, I don't know. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it made me laugh. I actually do a really
um,
great cow impersonation.
oh, yeah.
Mm,
That's what happens when you put silly people together. It's,
farm animal noises.
I, I, I was gonna apologize, but I don't. I'm not.
Just be yourself. It's cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and I hope people enjoy it, like watching this silliness, just flowing it, and we are letting it go. Uh, it's late in the day. We are ready for the party and
It's gonna be a
the
good party.
custom party. Speaking of, were you here last year? Uh,
Yeah, we did the hippie party, the '60s party, didn't we?
I wasn't here. This is
Oh, it
my
was so
first
good.
ATD event. So, can you share with the audience what is this party about?
One of the things that's really amazing about the organizers of ATD, about Trendig in general, is that they are so fun. Like,
It's a different vibe.
it's a different vibe. And one of the things that drew me to the testing world was that we are fun. We're very strange. It sort of feels like a lot of misfits
QA
sometimes.
in particular, yeah, we are.
We are people. That is, we are the full range of humanity. So they have a costume party. They have it at Agile Testing Days USA, and they have it at Agile Testing Days Germany. People show up in costumes. There's a theme to it. Sometimes there's a contest. Last year was hippies, so like the '60s, and people had on tie dye, and they had their hair long. They had like the ties around everything. I had on a like
Bell
a.
bottom
It
pants.
was so good. Like I had a little fake vest. I had like the big flower glasses.
Cool.
At Agile Testing Days Germany last year, the theme was fairy tales. So a bunch of people showed up as Little Red Riding Hood. I showed up as a phoenix.
Cool.
Like I had like
Cool.
fans. I was doing fan dancing with the thing. I had like feathers. Jose was dressed as a princess. Like it was just
Nah.
really wonderful.
Okay. What's the theme this year? Oh, I'm worried that I thought it
It's
was just general.
Oktoberfest.
Oh, that explains a lot. Because I was asking some people, like, yeah, what am I gonna. I just saw there was a custom party, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring something. But I didn't know Oktoberfest, so I'm gonna be totally. I bring a custom, but not right for the party. Hmm.
It'll be
Okay.
fun. I
I'll,
couldn't actually find a good Oktoberfest costume, so I just went on Amazon and ordered some beer holsters. So I'm just gonna have like beers and holsters on my back. So
okay. No, and yeah, being engaged to a German, I'm like, I should have played this better, and I have some things that would have worked awesome now that I know about it. Okay.
it'll
Oh
be
well,
fun. It's
next
gonna be
year.
a really fun time. And not everybody dresses up. Like
So
some people dress up, some people don't. It's really very optional, but it is a really fun time.
if anyone asks, I'm gonna be a weird German version of something. You'll see.
I am very excited about this now.
Nah, it's silly, but oh man, now I should have paid better attention. My bad.
That's how I feel about 90% of things in my life. I should have paid a little more attention.
Uh, isn't it like ironic because many of the QA people with clinical eye for details and defects are very dispersed, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like we because I'm also dispersed big time. We cannot compensate that, right? Or that's where we apply it, paying attention to those details. Because
Yeah. It's like we can really focus very deeply on this special interest on making sure that things are happening. Testing is going well, all of that stuff. But outside of testing,
the rest of the
yeah.
life is like, wait, where am I? Like,
Sometimes you trip and fall face first in the concrete. Like I can focus really well on testing, I can focus really well on like writing, I can focus well on my farm stuff, but other things like
and
I'm
it's
just whoosh.
really cool with that because you have to do it big time, even if it's QA, but if it's falling. Because when I saw her, I was like, whoa, you really like sealed in this. Like, Jenny, are you okay?
Yeah, I've been limping around the conference. It's fine. We're fine.
You can tell where she's going. Not because of the hair, not because of the style, the very Jenny style, but it's just like the penguin
I'm not
walk that
even
I
wearing
see somewhere.
boots. Y'all know me. I wear crazy boots all the time. I put them on for my talk, but then I had to take them off because I'm hobbling around.
You couldn't even do it
I
with the
couldn't.
boots.
I couldn't.
Ow, that's
Good though.
sad
It's good.
to hear. Um, so, will we see you at Potsdam?
Oh heck yes.
Ah,
Got my acceptance. Really exciting. The talk I got accepted is called "Oh no, An incident.
And knowing you is going to be a very dramatic talk and
It is. It
representative.
is. It's about the role that testers can play in incident response. Because what I have seen a lot of times is someone will come and be like, "There's an incident. Oh no!" And the developers will be like, "We're gonna fix it. We're gonna jump in and do this thing." And the tester's like, "Cool, brah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna
See you
go
tomorrow.
do my testing now that you're distracted." But I really believe that we can bring that tester's mindset to incidents, and we can start saying, "Hey, this is how I move through the application. This is what I think the users are doing. Here's the things that I know about the system that I can bring. Here are the questions I can ask." The story I love to tell, and I love this story. Um, so the Thursday before I joined Papa, like my first day was Monday. My friend had invited me over to his house for dinner. He's like, "Come, my wife is going to cook. We're going to have a celebratory dinner because of your job, the new job." And I came over and I'm like, "Where is he? I'm going to say hi," because he helped me get this job. And his wife goes, "Well, he's downstairs. There's an incident." And I'm like,
Uh,
"Let me at it." So I walk downstairs to his office and he's on a Zoom call with all of his people. And I'm like, "Hi, I'm Jenny Bramble, new director of quality engineering. What's going on, y'all?" And during the incident, I was able to ask a couple of questions that absolutely pinpointed what was going on. Knowing nothing about the systems, nothing about the pieces that they were working with, nothing about anything. Like, I didn't even know anybody's names. Like, but I was able to ask a couple of questions that they were able to narrow down to what was the root cause of the incident and what they could fix, because I have that tester's mindset. I'm able to say, to look at that big picture and chop off the pieces that aren't important to narrow down to the questions that we want to ask. So
I'm like, yeah, speechless. Hit the ground running, big time. That definitely exemplifies. You weren't even in the payroll yet, I'm sure, and you were
nope.
already like rocking it.
Yeah.
And that's a very cool story because sounds like you would have done it even if you were not part of the organization. Like, can I go and help and go and check what is
Yeah.
happening on some NDA and situations that some organization cannot share?
I
But
do love taking care of things. It is
yeah,
so deeply satisfying.
is it does it give you a little bit like saying yes a lot to those challenges or things a little bit more than you should?
Yeah, you sound like my therapist.
No, no, because no, and
Yes, I say yes to way too many things. I actually had to say no to a couple of conferences this year, which broke my heart. But um, it turns out being director of engineering is hard, and there's a lot of work.
and we have only a few hours in the day, and we have a sleep a good amount of those.
And
And
I really want to have a good life. I want to prioritize my things that are important to me. My job is very important to me. Speaking at conferences and being part of this community is very important to me. But also, I want to go hiking. I want to. I'm taking improv classes. I throw axes. I do all of these things, and I
the
want to.
quail chicks and
And
the
the quail and the
cats.
cats, and I accidentally adopted two new cats.
What? What? Okay, we'll get into that in a moment. That's cool.
Uh, but I want to be able to prioritize all of this. So I've started realizing that saying yes all the time isn't healthy. There's actually a group of us that have a little, it's kind of like a support group to say no. So we'll describe
I
like a
think I know a
situation.
few of those of that
Yeah.
group.
And we'll say, "Hey, here's a time that I said no." And people will be like, "Yeah, you said no. Good job." Or we'll say, "Should I say no to this?" And people will be like, "Yeah, say no to that. Please say no. We give you permission to say no to that." So having a support group to help say no is really, really important.
Do you accept applications?
It's just for ladies, but I will be
Oh,
your
okay.
specific no support group. So if you want somebody to hype you up for saying no, DM me.
Because I'm not your when you were saying you sound like my therapist. No, I feel you. I when you were saying some of those things, like, wait, I think she may be doing similar things because
Mm-hmm.
um, wanting to eat the world and do everything and
Yeah, and it's great. Like, I love being impactful, but I also realize that I need to be human as well.
human, healthy, and alive, and all those
Hmm.
things that are important.
And
Kind of.
that's what I tell my employees a lot is I want you to have space to be human. I want you to do the work that makes you happy. I wanted you to do work that fulfills you. I also want you to refactor some stuff occasionally. But I also want you to not feel like you have to say, I'm going to be gone for 5 minutes so that I can go answer the doorbell. I'm going to be gone for an hour so I can eat lunch. I want you to just like have those times, be human, take a brain break, relax a little bit, and come back to work. But I don't give myself the same grace, and that's a problem. So
you,
it's something that I'm working on.
you just reminded me because when I joined KCX Grafana, one of the first things that many of the group, I loved the culture and how things are in the company, and they were scolding me like, "Hey, dude, you're doing too much. Like, you're gonna be burned out." And sure, I was getting there big time, and that the people that were scolding me about that as well were people that were giving too much or were,
Yeah, yeah,
and after a little bit I was like, you're also almost burned out. Why were you, I mean, I really appreciate the feedback, and uh,
yeah,
but sounds like you're in a similar situation trying to help everyone but except
yeah.
yourself. And
Put your oxygen mask on first.
Mhm.
And it's interesting that you bring up burnout because every time you get burned out, the time between your then and your next session of burnout is
It's
shorter.
shorter, yeah.
So you get to a point where you're just constantly burned out because you can't recover from the amount of burnout you've accumulated.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really intense and it's an absolute problem, and it causes trauma in people that we then have to work through additionally to getting done with burnout. And I'm American.
And
If I'm not
that's
working, I don't have health care. So I don't have the ability to take 3 months off to survive burnout. So I need to manage it on a micro level and say, day to day, how am I managing my burnout? How am I making sure that I'm not doing too much? Okay, I can go outside the country once a month, not twice a month. Probably need to be 3 months between times.
we wish it was more, but
Right?
humanely possible
It's
as
also
well.
expensive.
Keeping that, yeah.
So I need to manage my burnout on a very micro level because I don't have the tools to manage it on a macro level. I can't take a month off. I can take 2 weeks off, but I can't take a whole month. And
Mm.
2 weeks is great, but
Also, that's pushing a little bit.
it's pushing it, and then I have to catch up from when I'm getting off. So that week after I get back is always really brutal. So I have to manage it like day to day, manage it on the micro level, make sure that I've got people who can step in for the tasks that I'm doing and that I'm not the only one. And as I'm doing that, make sure my people aren't the only one. If Jeff is the only one that can do this task, that is a disservice to Jeff. If Jenny is the only one that can do this task, that is a disservice to Jenny.
Hmm.
And it's a disservice to the organization at large because what if I win the lottery, buy a catamaran down in the Virgin Islands, and
Or
just
that
live there forever?
that damn boss that will hate us all the
Yeah.
time and all
So
that things. It's super important, and pun intended, for performance testing world, you become the bottleneck,
yeah,
and you don't want to
yeah.
be a bottleneck, even as like job security and all those things. No, that doesn't matter.
No,
Doesn't apply.
job security is a myth, especially in America. We don't have job security. There are very few people who are so irreplaceable that they can't just vanish. And
And
if
that's
you are
not
that
cool to be that
irreplaceable,
person at times.
it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting to be irreplaceable. And for me, it's not healthy. So, one of the things I've done over the past 6 months is looked at all the tasks that I do. So, when I was out on vacation about 6 months ago, a bunch of things fell through the cracks. There were a bunch of things that just weren't done. And I got really mad about it. I'm like, why didn't you guys pick this up? Why didn't you do these 6 things? They're like, well, you always handled them and you didn't tell us it needed to be handled. I'm like, okay, that's my fault.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time saying, what am I and only I handling? And who else can handle that? Who in my team can I empower to do this? Who in my peer group can I empower to do this? Not all the time necessarily, but when I'm not able to, if I'm gone, if I'm sick, if I'm busy, who else can handle these things?
Or leave processes, leave indications, or there are so many things that I think it's part of the, pun intended from the conference, is part of the agile culture.
Yeah.
That multi-hat, and here, now this is your hat. I know I'm the director, but now you keep it a little bit. I'm out, or
Yeah.
let's share this responsibility. It's important and it's super interesting because mixed up with when you were mentioning like you're American, you work here, and you went to the medical situation. But I know, and I have the feeling, working here in the States for so long and seeing the hustle culture that
Oh,
also like
hustle culture
pushes
is so
us.
damaging.
Yeah, it's something that I like as well from the organization, that we learn like those boundaries and take vacation, take days off, and all those. Balance your life.
Yeah.
QA people, we're prone. I know developers as well. Like lose ourselves, our lives in code and defects and tests. But it's important for us to hold this balance, right? I will take it because I again lost track of time. It's always
We did it again, didn't we?
so fun. Oh my god! Yeah, I went a little bit further again. Uh, but I think that would be like one of the recommendations of this
Yeah.
silly talk that we are having. Overall silly, because you know,
But so
uh,
informative. Oh my gosh.
I hope that you're getting something out of all this babble that we're doing. But Jenny, to close, any good recommendations that you would like to give that you were have been learning on this conference or the
Oh my
last times?
gosh. Ooh.
Tough.
So I just got out of Larissa and Raphael's talk, and they were talking about building a community of practice and how people need that sense of belonging in order to be fulfilled. And just before, not just before that, but before that, I was in Paul Holland's talk, and he had a similar thing. He said part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is that belonging. And we're starting to see research that may say it's more important than we've been making it. It might be as important as food and security. Um, Jenna talked about the individual in Agile and how the individual needs to belong to the group but also take care of themselves. So, one of the major themes that I'm pulling out of today is that belonging moment, that loneliness is incredibly damaging to us, and we can't just dismiss it. And that's one of the things Papa does, my company does, is we combat loneliness in older adults.
Hmm.
And it made me realize that that's what conferences are doing for us. Like, we're sitting here talking about belonging, we're sitting here talking about making sure we have communities of practice by coming together in a community of practice, a temporary one. But that sense of belonging is so satisfying and so wonderful. So the thing that I've been pulling out is find that community, and if you can't find it, start to build it.
Oh, that's a good one.
So that's what I've got from
Build it.
this.
If the mountain won't, no, if Buddha won't go to the mountain goes to Buddha.
Pretty
Um,
much.
yeah, you should start it, and hit me as well, because loneliness or lack of community in elder adults,
Yeah,
senior adults, but I am seeing it in younger adults as well a lot.
so
And
much. Especially with the pandemic,
yeah,
we've isolated ourselves for our own safety, but we haven't remembered how to come back together because we always thought it was going to be a temporary situation, and it's not. A lot of us are now permanently working from home. So how do we create a community when we don't necessarily have the same tools that we had 3 years ago?
yeah, it's, oh, I'm seeing customs already. For, we are about to get over there. And to close, any upcoming situations with conferences that you would like to share, or is it still early to?
It's a little bit early for a bunch of things, but I will tell you, targeting quality in Canada.
Okay.
Jenna and I are giving a keynote. It is going to be our first keynote together.
Cool.
The keynote is called Stairs, and it's going to be about systems thinking and design and context and cognitive biases. And it is entirely inspired by the time I fell down the stairs at Agile Test Stage.
Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah,
It's
because as I was peeling myself off the floor from this very bad fall, I was thinking to myself that if I say stairs, everyone has an idea of what a stair is. But
you have a different, probably.
now I'm just mad at them all the time. But different stairs are useful in different contexts. Like right over there, there's a bunch of stairs that are carpeted. You're not going to put carpeted stairs outside. The stairs in Miami aren't going to have the same grippy surfaces as the stairs in Chicago.
Mm.
So the context of the stairs really matters. And there's different affordances that you can have around stairs, different attributes. So there's a lot to think about and a lot of ways we can talk about stairs and relate that to quality and relate that to designing systems.
I'm surprised of how much are you stretching the topic. I can tell there was some trauma happening there, but I'm really happy also to know that that you're doing a lot of tag team keynotes and talks, and I'm super happy for Gina as well, who also did the opening keynote today. I hope to
So
have some chance to talk to her again, another returning guest to these interviews or whatever the thing I'm doing here. Uh, but it's super cool that you can pull this perspective on that traumatizing situation that you experienced into a keynote that will share so much knowledge with everyone.
So excited.
I'm super curious. When is that conference happening?
That one is in September.
September in Canada.
In Canada. It's going to be so beautiful. And the organizers are amazing. It's a regional conference, so you know you're going to get a lot of intimate time with people. It's going to be a super great conference. I was talking to Lisa about it earlier, and she said she really likes the conference. I'm really excited.
Cool.
It's going to be my first time out in Canada, actually.
Really?
So if you've got any recommendations, let me know.
Yeah, Canadian stuff. There are a lot of things. I'll let that to the experts because probably mine are not the best.
And you are right. I do a lot of things with other people, and that's something that I've been trying to do. Again, Lisa Crispin taught me this one. If you've got a platform and you can bring somebody new on and lend kind of your weight to them and get them into a conference, get their ideas out there, that can be really valuable. So I've done a couple of talks with people that it's their first talk. I've done workshops with people. I think it's really important. If you've got some clout, some karma, something, and you can help lift other people up with it, please do that.
I love that. I've been trying to do that, but I'll
you do
push
fantastic with
harder.
this. You interview people, you talk to people, you
Trying to
encourage
share
people.
to whoever
Yeah.
watches and try to
Yeah.
bring, but
This is a quality human, y'all, and I know quality.
hey, I'm kind of little damaged, but good.
Aren't we all? That was perfect.
Amiga, I really appreciate whenever you like to come and play, and you made me think. Let's not gonna talk. Let's see if
Let's do it.
that sounds interesting. Tag team.
Boom.
Let's do it. Okay, everyone. Now, for real, people are picking up. So, for real, this is the last of the day. I couldn't stop myself and have this silly conversation. Always have to take a chance to have some fun. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow to see what else can I bring and be sharing about this conference, Agile Testing Days from Chicago. Stay tuned tomorrow. Have a good night, and I'll see you around live, something. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Adios. Buenas noches.